What gives you the right to touch me? Like, I wouldn't do it to anyone on the streets, so why would you do it here?
We're taught from such a young age that a woman's body is seen as like public property in a way, like it's there to be pretty and kind of attract men and kind of, you know, be pleasing and perform in some ways. So it's like if we kind of unwinded that logic in primary schools and, you know, at younger ages, then we could kind of grow up without thinking that we need to kind of constantly compliment girls like in the street.
Because it's become such a norm in today's society, you don't really think about it unless we're having a discussion now. But no, for sure, like when you go out, you will guarantee to at least get looked at or touched in a club.
I started to notice that on the student nights there would be random elements, people who, obviously primarily blokes, who'd be out, you know, for whatever reason. And they'd come into the Winchester, and we've always been quite welcoming, and we're used to, we've had trouble, so we can deal with trouble, so we tend to try and give people a chance. But what I tended to notice is that with the students who were very open and friendly and would engage in people, some of these random elements would almost take advantage of their kindness or take advantage of the situation. And I started to notice that it was an uncomfortable mix. You know, nobody likes fights, nobody likes to be on a night out to be hassled by anybody. So it just started to occur to me that I should almost not protect the students, but protect the environment.
Winchester, in a way.
Yeah,
what the Winchester
and what it stands for. Yeah, definitely.
I go clubbing about once every 2 weeks. There was an incident at Old Fire Station where there was these two Asian men, and I was with my friend at the time. We lost all our other friends out on night out, and they came up to me and my friend, and they touched my friend by the waist, and I sort of told them to go. And then one of them whispered something in my ear saying, "Stuck up bitch," and then I was like, okay. And then the night sort of went on, and we're at the dance floor area, and he came up behind me and then grabbed my bum.
How would he like it if somebody grabbed his mum's ass? He'd probably say, "Oh, I'm going to go beat him up," or something stupid like that. Well, it's not stupid, it's, you know, but yet he can't see that grabbing somebody else's, another girl's bottom is bad.
No.
You're there to ensure whoever's coming in is having a good night. They don't want to be harassed sexually or any other way. They don't want any sort of bother. So we're just here to make sure anybody's coming in is having a good time. I like positive energy and good energy, and I think loving and respecting other people is a part of that.
Yeah.
This wasn't in a club, but I think it was after a night out. My friend's friend, she told me that she got nearly attacked by a guy. She was walking by herself, which she shouldn't have been doing. But again, it's sort of like, oh, we have to have another girl because these men can't help themselves sort of mentality. And that's what's sort of sickening. I think if a girl isn't into you, obviously it's normal in clubs like for guys to approach or girls to approach guys. And obviously if they're interested, they'll make sure it's interested, not to force a situation. No means no, because it could lead to like other, you know, serious sexual crimes.
The different doormen perhaps have different views, I don't know, but they should have that view. You protect that person. You know, if they feel they're being harassed, you've got to sort it out. If somebody's a bit too full on, you reject them.
The more you think about it, the more it happens on a night out. Like when you reminisce and then you realise like, oh wait, no, these guys did touch me and my friends.
So the first week that I got here in Bournemouth in Cameo, it was our first night out for the whole time, and I was walking up the stairs and I was really drunk, and this guy, literally, I had this like short skirt on, he grabbed my vagina like under my skirt, literally, because he was lower than me, and I elbowed him in the face and I turned around, and because we were going opposite ways, he didn't know that it was me or anything. But it's just like, why would you feel the need to do that? I found it so disgusting. Like, it was proper groping as well.
Did you speak to the club?
No, I didn't, because I felt that I had it under control anyway.
Yeah. We made a survey like a few weeks ago. We got one girl wrote to us that she was in a club in Bournemouth, not the Winchester, but she said that she went up to one of the bouncers and she was like, this guy's been touching her up, and the first thing he said to her, maybe you shouldn't dress so slutty. I mean, what would you say to bouncers or people who speak to girls like that?
That's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have spoken to her like that. Anybody's entitled to dress the way they want to dress.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really out of order. I wouldn't have put that with that. If that was a doorman working under me, he'd have got in real trouble over that, I think. Yeah, that's not on at all.
Yeah.
Even like people dancing around, like when they see this happening, if like everyone goes against whoever's done it, because it seems like they just get away with it like so easily every time you kind of see it.
It's not so much my story, but I went to Cameo once with a group of friends and I was sober because I'd given up alcohol. My friend was sitting on the floor very drunk in the bar in NYU and some guy came up and started talking to me. While the guy was talking to me, his mate unzipped his trousers and tried to put his penis in my drunk friend's face. I shouted at him and made him leave, and my friend was so drunk that she didn't even notice, but I'll always remember that.
Shut up. That's awful.
What the fuck, man?
Imagine seeing like that happening, and that's awful.
That's just vile. I know mates who've been forced into, okay, you're going out, initiation, you're not going to be in a rugby team, and that's at uni, you're not going to be in a rugby team unless you go out and you neck 5 birds, or you go out, and that's at the start of it, because if that's your goal, to go out at night and neck 5 birds, you're going to rely on situations like, oh, maybe if I touch this girl's arse, she's going to get with me.
And because you're in this tight group of lads, if no one questions it, then there's no way that you're going to take a step back and be like, oh, okay, this isn't acceptable, this girl's uncomfortable.
I've got kids of my own, like I said, I've got grandchildren, and I like to think if they were out anywhere, somebody would be looking after them.
Yeah.
I'd treat people as I would my own.
You'd think after all these years we would learn how to love our fellow human being, but it does start with the individual. So this documentary is important because in a way it is prompting that conversation. How do I act? Should I act a bit more? Even this is, it makes me think about how I treat other people. And I think that's what the only hope we can have is to prompt and encourage people to question their own behaviour and then step forward into society in a more positive and a more understanding way.
It could happen to anyone and it could be from anyone that does it. So I think it's just sort of not just telling girls like, oh yeah, you should be careful on a night out and everything, but also telling guys that it's not okay to do that.